Yo, what's up guys? My name is JT and we're going to open up this gorgeous model from Lombard Hobbies, and we're also going to do a review on it right here on Model Railroad in the Southwest. So let's see what this is. It's the new Athearn Genesis P42 DCs. Now, I bought this on a whim, I'm not going to lie. I got jealous of everybody posting their pictures of their new P42s on Facebook, and I just had to have one. So let's go ahead and open this up and check it out. I really like these new boxes that these Athearns come in. I really like the new logo with the wings there. I think it just looks really good. The blue on these boxes seems like more rich or dark or something. I'm pretty sure it's the same color. I haven't really put it up to the older boxes that I have. But once you remove the lid there, you'll find some documentation along with the owner's manual with DCC information and some other stuff like that. So inside here you'll find the engine. There's a small little package here with some extra steps and an antenna and another mirror. So there's the model here, so let's take it out of the clamshell packaging. So the packaging here is typical of the rest of the Athearn models that I've seen before. So there's the model there. Let's go ahead and put it on the Lazy Susan and take a closer look. So here's the model out of the packaging, and let me start off by saying that I think that Athearn did an amazing job on this model. I really haven't showed you guys the model yet, but I am very happy with it. I have two Kato P42s that are that I've had for a couple of years, and they're extremely underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, they're a great model. They have great drives in them. They're just really not that well detailed, and they're just not what this one is. So let me go ahead and give you guys a 360 of this model so you guys can see how great it looks. So let's take a closer look at the nose of this model. So taking a look at the front of the engine, you'll notice that there's a ton of detail. We'll start off here at the windshields. You'll find that there's some gasket detail, along with two intricately done windshield wipers, the number board which is lit with an LED, although you'll see that later it's really not that bright. I tried changing the CV values and I really couldn't get it any brighter than what it is in the video. Over here you'll find the headlight without the lens here. There's some two marker lights here and the ditch lights right underneath there. You notice that there's some bolt detail for the removable nose, and also some MU connections and some other connections as well. A well done snowplow and some MU hoses as well, and a brake hose, and there's the front McHenry coupler. There's also some coupler cut bar detail as well. On the top you'll find that there's a bunch of antennas here as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the conductor side. You'll find that this side of the model looks particularly good with the separately applied mirrors. This door looks particularly good with the latches on it, and also the two grab irons on either side of the door. Underneath you'll find that there's a small compartment here with a grill. You'll notice that all the grills in this model seem like they are weathered, which look pretty good to me. Underneath that compartment you'll find the builder's plate along with some intricately done trucks. Those trucks look absolutely amazing. They look very good. And you'll find that there's some intricately done steps there as well. There are two things that I'm going to gripe about this model. I forgot to mention them when we were looking at the front of the model. The LEDs are just dark. You really can't make them any brighter either. They just look dim. The next one are these grills. They're not separately applied. They are molded into the model. I just find it a little strange that, Genesis models would have molded in grills and not separately applied. Let's go ahead and look at closer down the back of the model. So here's the rear side of the model, and I think it looks pretty good. I know the whole ordeal about the road number not being placed correctly on the model. For me, it's not a big deal, but I know for other modelers that is a big deal for them. You know, it's really unfortunate that it wasn't done correctly, but it still looks pretty good, and it's not a big deal to me. But over here, you'll find that there is the fuel filler cap, and also you'll find that there are the fuel gauge sight glasses, and those are gold. They look like they're gold plated. I mean, not real gold plated, but they look like they're brass or something, but they look pretty good. Over here, you'll find another intricately done step. The rear of the model looks pretty good. You'll find two marker lights here, and also the rear headlight. You'll find that there's some sand filler hatches here as well, along with the door, with some gasket detailing around the window and a latch. And you'll find some small decals here and here. And you'll find that there's these small details there with some bolt or rivet detailing. You'll find some MU hoses and some brake hoses all along the bottom here, along with some coupler cut levers. So here's the engineer side of the model, and it's kind of strange and kind of funny, but the 46 road number looks more appropriately placed on this side rather than the other side. You'll find more of these grills here, and like I said earlier, they are not separately applied. They are molded in. But if you look at them at a certain angle, you'll see that there is some detailing behind the grilling to show that there are some supports. I'm not sure if you can see them on the video, but I can see them from where I am. And it looks okay. It looks pretty good. So here's the engineer side, the front, and it looks just as good as the other side. The trucks look just as detailed, and there's another builder's plate, and along with these other little decals on the bottom there. And you can find that there's a small F there to show that that's the front of the model. So let me try to give you a good look at the interior because it is phenomenally done. You'll always hear me say that if a model has a unrealistic looking air horn, the entire model just doesn't look good. I think it just makes it look like a toy. This one in particular is very well done. You can see down into that trumpet. It just looks really, really good. Here I'm trying to show you the seat inside the cab. It's pretty cool looking. In this clip you can see the armrest of the door and also the dashboard, which has little knobs and little detail in it. It's really nicely done. So here's the roof of the model, and it looks pretty good. There's a bunch of details on it. There are some antenna details here, some molded in lift rings. There is a air horn that's very nicely done. And over here is the exhaust. Now you can see the bottom of the exhaust, which is okay because nothing that a little bit like paint won't fix. This is the only separately applied grill on this model, and it is over the radiator fan. But that radiator fan looks so good. It has a ton of detail, and you can see each and every fin. It looks really good. So I don't typically show the underside of a model because there's typically really nothing to show. But this one has some pretty good detailing. There's some detailing right here, some piping, some tanks, and some compartments. So when I first put this model on the track, I noticed that there was some really bad vibrations from the sound. And I thought, oh no, what's going on here? So I took it apart. I didn't find anything wrong with it. But what I noticed here is that there's some tabs. You can see them. There's 5 of them. And those are vibrating against the frame, which makes the shell vibrate, and it just doesn't sound good. So what I decided to do was, I got some paper and I folded it over maybe 2 or 3 times, and I put it in between the frame and the shell on either side, and that completely got rid of the vibrating, and it sounds really good now. So if yours is vibrating, I recommend just putting a little bit of paper there to isolate the shell from the frame. It sounds good, and you can't see the paper. So let's go ahead and take this over the track and see what it sounds like. So you've seen this up close and personal, you've heard what it sounds like, and you've seen it going down the track on the layout. I'm sure you can conclude that this is a very nice model and it's very well done. In my opinion, I think the Athearn really knocked this one out of the park. Even though I talked about those discrepancies that I found, such as the dim headlights and ditch lights. For others, they might be okay, but for me, they're a little dim. I changed the CV values. I couldn't get much out of them. The other one are the grills. They're molded in and not separately applied. It's really not a big deal. It's just kind of an off thing that Athearn would produce a model that has molded in grills. The next one is the 46 was not placed correctly on the model. For me, it's not such a big deal, but for other modelers that are trying to make an accurate Amtrak train, that is a kind of a big discrepancy and a big deal to a lot of modelers, and I completely understand that. So hopefully Athearn has a solution coming our way. So I have some P40s on the way, and hopefully those come to Athearn very soon and then to the dealers. So we'll check those out at a later time. But as for this model, I'd buy it 10 times over. I think it's a great model. I would highly recommend buying it. So if you guys like this comment, please like and subscribe. There's a ton more content coming in the future. There's a ton of models that are on pre-order that are going to be here in the near future or a little bit later this year. So that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later. Take care and keep it to the rails.